Today we're talking about our favourite game that we played in October. Hi, I'm Libby, this is Julian. We are BoxedMeeples and you can find us right here on YouTube, but also follow us on Instagram and on Twitter.
So our favourite games we've played in October. Now I've got a game that's not a new game, I think many of you have played it. In it you are trying to divide up a kingdom. You're competing for hexagons on a map. You're all aiming for the central part of the board while collecting resources. You've got to remain popular, but you can't resist battling against other people to try and take over their resources. I'm of course talking about the Stonemaier classic, My Little Scythe. Now, as you may well know, we love the game Scythe. We think it's a fantastic game and we play it an awful lot, both at 2-player and also as a game we played up to 7. We've played a full sprawling adventure. We've also played the campaign and it's, I think, safe to say, one of our favourite games.
For sure.
And recently my children have been playing very light games. You know, the kind of monopolies we've been moving towards playing heavier games, but nothing really grabbed them like this one did. And, you know, a bit of backstory, it was designed by a father and his daughter. They wanted to make a My Little Pony game using kind of Scythe as an influence. And Jamie Stegmaier saw it and said, no, let's make that into a full-blown retail release. And I'm so pleased they did. It takes the kind of basic mechanisms of Scythe, dilutes them quite a bit, but you can still see the genesis of this game if you know Scythe really well. You're doing the same things. You're moving between different actions every turn, so you can't repeat the same action each turn. You're moving, or you're collecting resources, or indeed you're having a pie fight. And much like Scythe, which options you choose will give you different trophies, and the one who gets enough trophies will trigger the end game. So all of the kind of basics of Scythe are there, but we've played this with my children, one of which is 9 and one of which is 12, and they both really engaged with it. Often, you know, we play these games and, you know, we give them a helping hand. We may not do the optimal strategy just so they enjoy playing them, but that really wasn't the case with this. You could see the little tactician minds working and they're planning out moves ahead exactly in the way we wanted them to when we played Scythe. You know, one daughter said, a very fun game, full of challenge which I can achieve. The other said, I like it with all the trophies you can get in many different ways. There's lots of ways to win.
And they also really like the cute creatures.
The artwork is fantastic and ideally placed for this kind of target audience. And yeah, occasionally we kind of talk them into playing a board game. But it's been very few occasions when they've said, almost week on week, can we play My Little Scythe? So if you have children who are maybe, you know, around the 10 mark, I would say, and you want them to get into board games, this is a fantastic, fantastic game. Obviously, for adults, it's going to have a limited appeal. Just play Scythe, unless you really adore cute characters. But for children and, you know, for family gathering that isn't just Monopoly or party games, something of substance, get this. It really is fantastic.
Yeah, mine was a tough pick this week because I went to Essen, so I mean there was a lot to choose from. I had some great games with people. We've played Starship Captains, which I absolutely adore, and had a great time talking to the designer at Essen. You can see that in our channel if you're interested in that. But I know that we have more content coming up before Christmas, I would say, on Starship Captain. So I thought that I would talk about another game that really grabbed my attention and I'm really excited for, that I saw and managed to play some of whilst I was there, and that's Unconscious Mind from Fantasia Games. Now it's due to launch in November on Kickstarter, so I think a lot of people are probably watching it because it had a lot of interest at Essen, and it just seems so different, so interesting, and so much going on and options to do things, and the little details in it I really enjoyed. You're basically, the sort of premise of it is you're friends with Freud, and you sort of all hang out together and you sort of chat around working out how best to treat your patients. It's sort of the birth of that psychology time, so your cohorts are all gathering together and you're looking at what ideas are working and what aren't working with your clients, and you're obviously trying to do your best to cure your clients. as one of your action options, you put your little speech mark into the table, and it's sort of representing you taking part in that conversation with your cohorts. And now you can put more than one speech mark in, and sort of representing that you're sort of over talking everyone else and taking quite a large part in that conversation. But you can't put one part in one conversation and then go in again and then go in another in the same conversation. You have to choose a different conversation. So I thought that little nuances like that were really interesting. And on your player board, there's this lovely little inkwell that moves different steps depending on what action you might have taken within the conversations, and it sort of moves these different stages. And the inkwell is such a great part for a game. I mean, it just looks so good. You're moving that along and you're trying to get these little orbs in different areas in order to achieve the things that you want. You're looking at curing your patients and their sort of foreshadowings and their dreams that they've had. You're also going about town and seeing who's out there and seeing what you can do. Looking at publishing different books and what ones of those that you can achieve. And there's just so much going on, so much that you can do, and such an interesting theme. I feel like the artwork in this game really fits well with that theme and the idea that's going on. It's by Andrew Bosley and Vincent Dutray, which I think are well known within the sort of board game industry. And if you know some of their other games, I think you can sort of tell that influence within there. And it's a game that I'm really excited for. I can't wait to play it again. I know this one's all about the mind, but it definitely did get stuck in my mind.
Yeah, when you came back from Essen, that was the first game you were really excited about. I think you were excited before you went, because you kind of made a beeline for it.
Yeah, because they also have Endless Winter, which is coming our way too, so I was super excited about that as well.
The just looking at the kind of footage I've seen of this, I really hope it's going to be on our shelf sometime soon. Although I'm a little bit disappointed you didn't choose the Big Cheesy Knights. Do you think you're good enough? Although perhaps it's because we haven't played it yet. It
is. I mean, I know that it was a birthday present, but I can't choose something that I have yet to play.
Okay, well, so next month.
Next month, maybe.
A month.
If you've enjoyed this talking about board games, then we would love it if you would like the video and even subscribe to the channel. That would be fantastic. And of course, don't forget to ring the notification bell and you will hear all about our other board gamey related chat throughout the month.